here's when real estate is used as an asset. So there's a few situations. The first one is, are you planning to sell your home at any point? Because if you plan to sell your home, and just so you know, there's a capital gains exclusion. So if you bought your home for $500,000 and you sell it for $1 million and you're a married couple, that $500,000 of gains, that's just completely tax-free. You don't have to worry about that. Anything above that, well, then there's capital gains at the traditional 15%. So depends on your income. For most of you, 15%. So if you bought a home for $500,000 and now it's $1 million and you sell it, well, there's going to be commissions and taxes and things that, let's assume you're walking away with $800,000. Well, if you walk away with $800,000, which is very conservative, it would be more than that, just hypothetical here, hyperbole, shoot me, okay? So $800,000. Now what you can choose to do is buy a home, and you can say, do I get a mortgage? Do I buy it outright? But if you buy a home for $400,000, well, that's $400,000 that just went to your investments that can create income. So maybe it makes sense to use real estate as an asset. But the first question to ask yourself is, where do I want to live in retirement? What does my lifestyle look like? Not letting what a lot of people do is go, well, I'm going to sell this home and downsize so I have more income in retirement. And there was one case with a client that I said, you could do that, but you're okay if you don't sell the home. And they're like, wait, so I don't have to? I go, no, here's how much income it would create. And the spouse was like, well, that's a lot more income, honey. Maybe we should do that. And they went through a big budget and expense sheet with us. And they're like, yeah, it is more money, but we don't need that much more money. And so because of that, they decided to keep their home. So just in that one conversation, they realized maybe we don't sell our home. And they were close to doing so because they thought they needed more income. So that's why you want to make sure you're thinking through this properly. Now, some of you go, well, I want to rent it out. You can absolutely rent out your property. You could buy a new property. You can get really creative here, but I don't want you to make this mistake, because I see it more often than you could imagine. And I see a lot of situations. The main situation I'll see is someone goes, Ari, I think I'm going to maybe travel. And if I do extensive travel, I want to rent out my property. I say, great, go rent it out. And they're like, I think you could bring in $3,000 a month. I go, awesome. That's $36,000 a year. I go, what is the total cost you're putting in? They're like, what? I already put most of the costs in. I'm like, no, what are the costs, for example, upkeep, cleaning, roof leaks, that kind of thing? They go, okay, probably in the range of $1,000 or so a month on average. I go, okay, so you're taking home $24,000 a year from this property. How much is it appreciating by? They're like, what? I go, how much is it going up in value by? They go, well, historically about 4% per year. I go, okay, that's fine. So $24,000 a year, that's almost like the dividend. $24,000 is coming in automatically. And they said it's growing, not a ton, but it's growing. So maybe their all-in return, call it your total return, is in the range of 8%. And that was the case for them. So 8% was the total return of their property. And I asked them, how much time and energy and hassle does this take? And they go, well, sometimes the property manager doesn't do a great job, so I have to worry and check in on that. I go, well, what if you could generate 6%, but it caused no hassle at all? It's just coming through your investments properly through dividends and interest and things like that. They go, well, I don't know. I kind of like the 8% or so that you shared that I'm getting right now. I go, great. Then maybe we stick with that. And maybe for you, it's worth having to deal with the property manager and be traveling, worrying about the roof that might leak. Because some people want that extra 2%. I have other clients that go, am I going to be okay if I get 6% instead of 8%? I'm like, yes. They're like, well, then I don't want to worry about that stuff. I want to go travel and do what I want to do. So it's not me saying real estate's good or bad. This is me saying, I want you to start thinking through how much time and energy and hassle, what returns are you looking for? Because anyone can say maximize return. Well, if you really want to maximize your return, go work 30 more years. Like, your return will be awesome. But that's not the point of this. The point is understanding when can you start to scale back and do what you actually want to do. Hey everyone, I'm down here in the corner. You can see me waving my hand. I want to interrupt this briefly just to make sure you're all aware of the Early Retirement Academy. I am the odd advisor that says everyone doesn't need an advisor. It just depends on what stage of life you're in and what experience you're looking for. So this is a good option for those of you that go, yeah, I want to work with an advisor. I don't quite have $2 million yet, but I still need some help. So you can get access to the same software, the same tools, everything I use in my videos, and you do get me as your guide along the way. So for a lot of you, this is more than suitable. For some of you, you go, no, I'm looking for that next level of guidance. Well, traditionally that makes sense when people have $2 million+ working with us. So a lot of you I know will have that. You just don't have it quite yet. And that's what this option is designed for. So check it out in the description if this is of any interest.